Hello! So today is going to be a family reroll game. Now I say family reroll, but the tech is that you don't give a shit about the rest of the family members. It is pretty much just Violet or nothing. Nothing else matters except this Violet unit. I didn't understand what was going on the last couple days, so I actually had to look into this a little bit. I know that sounds really dumb, but Violet is very broken right now. It's just the way things are. Of course, it's early set. We'll see how they handle these. They just buff. Basically, like, family was already really strong. Family is just like the Arcane Season 1 first arc. You know, you play as young Vi as Violet. You can play young Jinx as Powder and Vander. You know, if you're watching these TFT videos and you're looking at it, then of course you've probably already seen some of those Arcane episodes. If you haven't, I won't spoil anything. But you know, that's not really spoiler. It's just like Season 1, Episode 1 type situation. You know, in the first couple seconds, what everything is. But either way, what this is like units that they added exclusively to TFT, and they made a trait called Family because they're basically a family. And the idea is that they're low-cost units that you're supposed to reroll, and they kind of help each other by putting themselves within the same trait. But what happened is, like, Family was already like pretty strong, and then in their patch before the weekend, they decided that Violet needed to get buffed. So then now, like, as people are playing more of the set, it turns out that there's like a lot of abusable mechanics that you can turn this into, like, you know, a guaranteed top 1, top 2 every time you play it almost. So anyways, I probably am going to play Family from here just because I have a couple of the Family units. I'm not sure exactly what I want to play, but I'm down to take All That Shimmers and then decide later what I'm going to take. All That Shimmers, basically what it does is it just gives you a gold generating artifact. So this just helps you to hit a bunch of econ. So as you can see, I'm down to take Gold Collector. I could also play towards like a Twitch, a Sniper build. I'm down to just take Gold Collector just to set myself up for late game. I'm not technically committed to anything. But we'll see how it goes. So I do a quick scout. I see that nobody in particular seems like they're playing around Family, like if I look around. So that's my quick little scout. There's just this guy that I think is going to play Family. He has the 1 cost, the 1 for all. So the amount of 1 cost that you play, you get damage amp for all of them. But I'm like, okay, well, for the time being, we'll see. And if I hit some extra Family units, then I'll decide to reroll. But basically, the way that this comp works, you know, you just roll around these units. So the idea is that you're playing around Violet, Vander, and Powder. I'll go over Family. So the Family trait, 3 Family, basically they support each other, and you get damage reduction and durability, right? So they get extra bonuses. Then if you have spatulas, which is a craftable emblem, you can then make additional reduction and attack speed, and then you can also do like a heist at the end. Now, I'm not going to spoil too much of this video, but just so you guys know, we're going to get some emblems later. So, you know, stick around if you want to see some of those higher Family things, if you want to see who's getting adopted and stuff like that, because that's going to be part of the video. Also, if you like my content, make sure to like and subscribe, because it does help me as a small creator. And these are just VOD reviews. I also do guides occasionally. But anyways, the idea is that you might think to yourself, okay, this is nice. They're all 1 cost. So, you know, you go 3-star, you go 3-star, you go 3-star, you go 3-star, and then you go 3-star, and it's all good. Before, this was the method, and Vander was like the demon lord that couldn't be killed. You literally would have 3-star Vander, and this unit would tank everything, and it would be impossible to kill him. Now, people don't really care that much about Vander, because guess what you can do? You can tank even more and do more damage by not upgrading any of these units and just going for Violet 3. Because you're only going for Violet 3, a lot of the times, like, the other units really don't matter. Powder takes way too long to do damage. Vander costs too much gold. And Darius and Draven, you can play around them. Draven, in particular, is really good as a 3-star that just has, like, Winsu user in the background. But you don't have to play around them. You just play Violet. You make frontline tank items, right? There's lots of different builds. Nobody knows exactly what's perfect yet. I've seen people go stuff like Hodge, IE, just to have like crit glove synergies so that she just like one-shots, because she just does a shit ton of damage. The way that she works is she just hits physical damage and absolutely like deletes units on the board. And we're going to talk about what makes this comp broken, but basically there's a way to always guarantee that you get an anomaly that turns this 3-star Violet into a 4-star Violet. And I'm going to talk about that when we get there, but basically just make sure you have 52 gold when you roll for the anomaly, and you'll be fine. But you could put pretty much any tank items, like any frontline melee items, like, you know, you can do the typical, like, you know, Sterix, Titans, BT, anything that you get, you can kind of play around with this Violet. So here I have like Gold Collector in my actual game, and I have a crit glove, so I'm going to try and make crit items, so I'm probably gonna play towards like maybe IE Hodge, something like that. But I'm basically trying to just make a bunch of gold here. I'm not sure if I'm dedicated gonna play family, but because I already found like 3 copies of Violet, I can probably just play around this reroll. Now, in order to cap out this board, what you do is you just level for pit fighters later. So eventually your max cap board is just going to be all the pit fighters with the Vi. With the Violet, not the Vi. The Vi is pretty shit, but you just want to level and then play vertical pit fighter with it. Along the way of leveling, you can play other watchers to give yourself more of a front line. Tristana is also really, really good as an emissary unit that just gives attack speed. So there's lots of options in your mid game, but eventually your late game goal is just max out the pit fighter trait, so this Violet just recovers a bunch of HP and gets a bunch of damage amp, it gets a bunch more HP and just like absolutely deletes everybody. That's the idea. It's very simple. We're going to talk about the things that make it broken in a little bit, but we're going to go through the VOD like a normal VOD review, and we're going to just talk about stuff. No inking today because I'm doing this from my Twitch VOD, so I don't want to have to reset up the inking for this particular scene that I have on OBS, but we're just going to go through it. I start off by just making a Last Whisper. I didn't have the opportunity to make an Omnivamp item. There is a little bit of Omnivamp with the Pit Fighter trait, so I don't have to worry too much about this Violet not being strong enough for these early game fights. But ideally, I try and win as many of these fights as possible, and I keep making a bunch of gold so that I can set myself up to roll for these 1 costs as easily as I can. Now, there is another guy that looks like he's playing family. I understand. When it's a 1 cost reroll, or when it's something that's like this strong, this is a comp that you can contest. I don't normally contest other people, but I am not denying him hitting the Violet. I don't actually care if he hits it or not. Let him hit it. Let him get it. We'll both go top 1, top 2. That's the type of comp this is because it's a 1 cost reroll, right? This isn't the same as like contesting a Kog'Maw reroll, for example. Because the way that it works is that there are, I think, 27 copies of the, I forget if they changed it recently. I remember vaguely, don't quote me on the number. But there's approximately like 27 copies of the 1 cost, of each 1 cost, right? So if I need 9 Violets to hit Violet 3, I only need to take 9 of those. There's still plenty more for the other person to hit. Yes, it makes it a little bit harder for the both of us, but because this comp is so strong and you're only really reliant on the Violet here, it's very doable, right? You don't have to hit everybody ahead of tempo. You have a lot of time to hit this Violet throughout the game because of how strong she is in the mid game. This Violet 2 will save me HP. As you can see, I'm winning all of stage 2 mostly, besides like 1 or 2 fights that it's a little bit, you know, they have really strong boards. I'm winning most of these fights, and I'm going to win most of the fights on stage 3. So you're going to be a lot of HP. You're going to have a lot of time to hit it, so it's fine to contest it. It's not like if I hit Violet 3, the other I can't hit Violet 3, and that's something you have to understand. So even if you are contested in it, I know it feels awkward and it's kind of bad, but don't worry too much. As you can see here, level 4 odds, you have better chance of finding 1 cost, so I'm rolling on level 4, all my gold that's above 50, because I'm trying to find this Violet. Or as many copies of them as possible. I'm holding on to the other 1 cost. Like I said, you could roll for all of the 1 cost and 3-star all of them. That's like the max cap version, but the only one you really care about is Violet. Before you would really just like roll on level 5 and play around like the Vander, but realistically this Violet unit is broken, and the higher elo you are, I think the more you'll see people playing this. It might also be like a thing in low elo, I don't know. I didn't see it that much in my games until recently, when I hit like platish, which I think is like the equivalent of like diamondish because it's still early in the set. I don't know exactly, but I saw a lot of challenger VODs I was studying, and every single lobby has at least 2 of this fucking unit in it. But basically it's because you can guarantee upgrading the 3-star to a 4-star. They're probably going to change that next patch because, like, you know, anomalies are still new. But because the anomalies, I didn't know this until very recently, but anomalies, you don't see the same anomaly twice. So if you roll through all the anomalies, which there are right now, I think 52 of them, then you're guaranteed to always hit the anomaly that you want. So if you're playing around a 1-star unit, or sorry, a 1-cost unit, and you 3-star it, you can always guarantee that you'll hit Ultimate Hero, which will turn that 1-star into a 3-star. Or sorry, that 3-star into a 4-star, which is fucking insane. I didn't know that. My bad. Now I know. I actually played a family game, and I went like 4th, because I just rerolled differently and I didn't know everything about it. Here, Family Crest. Now, Family Crest upgrades the family unit, so it gives them a little bit more of a durability as well as some attack speed. So, but the main reason I took it is because it gives me another violet. Now I am only 3 violets off. I'm going to sit here and try and regain my econ as much as possible. And then I'm going to set myself up to, once I reestablish 50 gold, I'll slow roll above 50 gold until I have this violet 3. The only thing that you need to know is that you need to have violet 3 before the anomaly round. If you do not have violet 3 before the anomaly round, then you will not be able to upgrade it to 4-star, and that's like where most of the power of this comp comes from. Of course, if you're uncontested, you could just roll for Darius 3, Vander 3, Powder 3, and Draven 3, but I'm telling you now, they are not essential. You will be stronger than most people in your lobby with just the Violet upgraded. So you should just prioritize playing around the Violet and hitting this Violet 3 as early as possible. If you're not rerolling Violet, you can still use this as an early game board. For example, like even if I wasn't rolling for Violet, I could use this to tempo, because as you can see, this Violet is literally deleting whole boards, 1v9ing pretty much everybody. So this is a good early game board that even if you don't commit to it, that like maybe there's already 2 or 3 people that are rerolling and you're like, okay, I don't want that heat. I don't want to contest like 3 people. You know, it's good to contest 2 people in this comp. Sorry, it's good for 2 people to contest each other in this comp, but anything more than that, it starts to become like, okay, you know, most of us aren't going to hit, and we're probably all going to hold hands and go bot 4. But you can still play it as an early game board. You saw the other guy had a Violet 2 on his board. Just always buy this unit, right? You should always be buying this unit. Even if you're not planning to reroll it, it's still a really good unit for your mid game. It's just really, really strong. It's especially for a 1 cost. But anyways, as you can see, I'm holding a bunch of the other copies of the units. I could maybe play around the Draven 3, the Powder 3. I'm down to just upgrade a couple other ones. There's a couple augments, like the other guy has an augment where it's like, you know, for every 1 cost that you have on your board, it gives you damage amp. This is the guy that I'm contesting, by the way. As you can see, we have a similar number of violets. That's totally fine. I'm not contesting this guy. I'm not angry at him because, like, you know, we're contesting each other. But this board, it's like, you got it, like it's fine. Like if you're not contesting, if this guy gets to roll without somebody contesting him in the lobby, he gets a first for free, basically. That's what it feels like. So like a lot of times you're gonna be contested with this board, and it could support 2 people, right? That's the main thing you should always note, is that it does support 2 people in most cases. You could low roll, but you know, it's when it's more than 2 people is when it becomes a problem. Then you should pivot if you don't have the better spot, or hope that the other person pivots or something like that. But just as like a rough, you know, general rule of thumb for everybody, just so it's very out there. I don't want to ever promote griefing people for no reason. I always try and resolve things amicably, right? Sometimes I don't scout. Today I had a situation where I didn't scout somebody's board, and they had no scout, no pivot, and I messaged them on in the chat. I was like, hey, I'm sorry, I'll just buy these units because I'm committed to this unit, but I won't buy the other copies. You know, you hit your reroll, I'll hit my reroll, and you know, I went bot 4, he went top 4, no hard feelings, right? Like, it happens, right? But in this case, this is different. It's Violet. Both people can hit. It's fine. Now, there is something here that I'm going to bring up in a little bit. So in order to keep this really informative, I'm not talking too much about items. See, this guy hit Violet 3 already. That's totally fine. I'm still going to hit. I'm only 2 off. I still can hit is what I should say. So I'm not too worried about it. Like I said before, the only thing that you have to have is you have to have your Violet 3 before the anomaly round, which is 4-5. So all I need is 2 violets. It's okay if that guy bought a bunch. He can't really buy any more. And nobody else is committing to the reroll, so I should be able to hit. It's not like they're going to be all removed from the pool. There's still going to be like a plethora. There's still like over 10, 15 of them in the pool. Maybe it's going to be hard to hit the Darius and the Draven, but I don't really care too much about those units. Anyways, we're 4 family. I put it on the Draven because it gives attack speed. I'm just hoping that the Draven does a little bit. I rolled a little bit here, and boom, what do we know? We have Violet 3. We're good to go. Now, every bit of gold, this is really important. Do not burn your gold. You always have to make sure that you have at least 52 gold for the anomaly round. So you can push some levels, you can tempo level, you can do all sorts of stuff, but you have to make sure that you have 52 gold for the anomaly round. Make that a note. Vendor teachable moment. I'm going to make like a slide for that when I do it, so that whenever I have to say something I think is important, I'll make it like a scene transition on my OBS to make it really funny. But anyways, make sure that you keep above 50 gold now, right? A lot of times when you hit your reroll, you might just quickly level, put something in, make sure that you stabilize. No, you're fine. The Violet will kill everybody. It will be okay. You might lose 1 or 2 fights like this one. But a lot of these fights that I'm losing, by the way, I don't know how to describe it. There's a thing. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't think it's a bug. I think it's an oversight by me. So I'm going to say right now, there is something that I did that's very, very bad with this board. There is some sort of interaction that is occurring that is making my Violet look significantly worse than she is. And I was confused for a couple rounds. Like I figured out later. These rounds I didn't notice because I wasn't paying attention. I was talking to Chad and stuff like that. But at one point, you're going to notice this Violet seems to fall off really, really hard in a couple rounds. I want you guys to pay attention because there is a problem with my board right now. It exists right now. It will become more apparent later, but you know, there's an interaction that's happening, and you know, you can quiz yourself, you know, keep it in your head and guess, and then I'll reveal it when I fix it. So, you know, as a little bit of like suspense and drama for you guys to make it a little bit fun. But anyways, I have my melee items on my Violet, sorry. I have the, I'm going to make a Guinsoo on the back line because the Violet's going to live forever or live for a very long time. So I'm down to have this Draven stack up and then maybe just like kill off 1 or 2 units. He has starting attack speed because of family, so I'm kind of down for it. I have the Powder 3. I might eventually put items on Powder. Powder takes a while to get items going and all of that shit. So it's not necessarily recommended, but you always want to play 3 family at least to have your durability and extra HP and stuff. Not extra HP, but your durability and your damage reduction stuff on your family units. As you can see here, you know, this Violet unit is just going to like 1v9 pretty much everybody. Pretty convincingly. She's just going to literally just obliterate the whole board on her own. So that's what I mean. Before family, it was very dependent on like Vander hitting and thinking that like before people would reroll Vander and Powder, and the Vander was essential because you would live long enough to allow the Powder to cast multiple times. Now you just don't give a fuck about any of them. It's just Violet. Just Violet's the key. Violet's the answer. At least for this patch until they fix it in 2 weeks or whatever. Who knows? But get used to this. You're going to see a lot of this, and this is me explaining to you guys how I did it and showing you the gameplay every step of the way. I gave you a little bit of tutorial, and now I'm showing you every single round so I can explain it so that you have a really good understanding of what I'm doing at every stage along the way. So here, I think I just take Climb the Ladder. I'm not sure exactly what to take. Climb the Ladder is like every time somebody shares a trait, you get extra abilities. I think it used to be called like, what was it called before? It was called, I forget. It had another name in set 9, and it was really strong in set 9, so I'm pretty sure it's strong right now, except I think it's a little bit buffed, but it requires them to have the same traits. So I just want to play more pit fighters because eventually my board is going to be all pit fighters, and then I'll get a lot of extra stats. Oh, it's called Gifts of the Fallen, or Gifts from the Fallen, I think is what it was called in set 9. So it's the same as that, and in set 9, Gifts from the Fallen was really, really strong, except now the nerf is that they have to share the same trait. But if you're playing a board that is primarily one trait, you should be fine. So it should be fine anyways. But anyways, if you notice, there is a interaction that I have messed up. There was something going wrong here. And I want you to pay attention and try and, you know, critically think what's going wrong. And as soon as I fix it, I'll explain to you what was going wrong. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but it's something you should be aware of. Because if you do something similar here. Because there's something amiss. This Violet doesn't look as broken as she normally is. So be careful. But anyways, right now I just put in Scrap for the Powder. I have all my other synergies kind of okay. I don't really care about hitting these other ones, but I'm just gonna hold on to them just in case I hit them. Because you know, if I upgrade these 1 cost units, you know, they're probably gonna stay on my board for a while. So I'm just gonna hold on to them for as long as I could. But if you look here, just pay attention to the Violet. You'll see some things going on that's a little bit sus, but you know. We'll figure it out along the way for sure. This guy has a really good setup. He has Unleash the Beast, which gives his Vi anti-stun. So I'm losing against this guy's Violet. Because when Violet does her attack, she also stuns the enemy or does like a little bit of a knock-up. Because he has Unleash the Beast with the Sterix, he's immune to CC. So in the mirror matchup, I'm probably going to lose to him. And as you can see, he's win streak and he's doing really well. So I expect to lose to him. I don't expect to beat him every single time because his items and his augments are a little bit better than mine. I took the gold to make sure that I hit my board and I can make it to higher levels. Like I can make it to level 9 to fit in a Savika eventually, which is the higher cost pit fighter, right? Like some of these higher cost units is what I want to play around in a bit. So that's why, like, you know, I understand that it's like a risk reward thing, and he's probably gonna be a little bit stronger for right now. But it's okay anyways. Here I can make another Gwinsu, so I'm just gonna take a double Gwinsu on the Draven. I have I have Sundering because I have the Last Whisper, so that reduces armor, and then I have anti-heal in the form of this powder. Because I have powder 3, she will live long enough to get one of the anti-heal hits. She does anti-heal when she does her cast. She does the wounding when she releases the little bomb monkey. So that's totally fine. So I'm down for powder to, like, I think the fights last long enough for the powder to get a cast off, so I'm delaying making anti-heal for that reason. But anyways, this is the anomaly round, so this is the important round. So if you don't know, basically if you have above 52 gold, so here I don't want to risk it, that's why I didn't level to 8. I could have leveled to 8 here and try and win this round, but I said I'm just gonna sack it to make sure that I have enough gold, just in case I miscounted and it's not 52 and it's like 53 or something. You know, I don't want to accidentally not have enough gold. But because you basically, when you roll for anomalies, you can only see the anomaly once, so you will always hit the anomaly that you want. So here I'm gonna put Violet in the middle just so she's already ready, so it's one less action I have to do later. I take off the 2 costs off of my board. I don't know if it's gonna matter, and as you can see, I'm rolling for ultimate hero. Star up a 3-star, 1 cost a 4-star, so a unit that is already giga broken just becomes a 4-star. So that's probably gonna be removed from the game. I don't know how they're gonna balance around it, cause like what the fuck. But anyways, now we have 4-star Violet, so this is how you win the game. You have to make sure you have 50 gold at this point in time, and if you have 50 gold at this point in time, you then can hit. Now, if we look at this guy, this is a huge problem. Now, I'm not trying to flame this guy. He just might not know. I didn't know this a couple days ago, right? When the set first released, I didn't know this because they didn't tell me that anomalies, you can literally like get the one that you want if you have 50 gold. I didn't know that. I didn't know it. Maybe you guys know it. If you guys know it, good for you guys. I didn't know it. Now I know it, and that's why I've been getting railed by this comp all the time. It's like I couldn't understand how they always had Violet with the 4-star Violet, but I'm just a dumbass. But anyways, now I know. That guy I don't think knew. He should have rolled for the 4-star Violet, and he would have probably beat me. Now it's like, oh, that guy that was stronger than me with a Violet as well, he's not gonna win anymore because he doesn't have 4-star Violet. I'm definitely gonna beat him. And now we just get to watch Violet 1v9 everybody. But if you notice, there is still that interaction that I spoke about earlier. This Violet, you might look at and be like, huh, that's not that strong. That Violet's pretty weak. I understand, yes. But that's because I messed up. You will notice me in a couple turns. I will fix this. Or maybe this turn. But anyways, the interaction that's happening, if you weren't noticing the fights, my Violet wasn't healing off of her last hit on every enemy. Because what was happening is she does so much damage, when she procs the execute, she wasn't healing as much. So the fucking gold collector is griefing my Violet. And that's what the problem is. So I just need to put a different item on this unit and I'll be fine. But I literally just griefed myself repeatedly by accident. So, like, I should just make QSS. QSS is fine because it's anti-stun. It makes it so the Violet doesn't get CC'd by, like, you know, for example, I don't get CC'd by the other Violet, for example. But, like, I literally just messed it up. So, as you can see, I'm going to remove Gold Collector now. Oh, no. No. I still didn't realize it. Okay, I realized it soon. Trust me. Now, anyways, if you look at the stats for Violet, this is why I don't look at the stats until it's, like, a little bit later in the set. If you put Violet 3, and you put items, and you type in Gold Collector, it says minus delta. Minus delta means that it's like really, really good, right? But because it's such a small sample size, that's what I mean. Like, if you just look at the stats blatantly, especially early on when there's really small sample sizes, I'm pretty sure this isn't good on her. Now, maybe it is. Maybe it is good on her. I don't think it's good on her because, like, you're going to notice in a couple turns that it's like, you know, I'm not trying to roast stats, by the way. I'm a big stats enjoyer, but this is why I haven't been like, you know, normally in my videos, my VOD reviews, I'll show you guys stats and I'll say like, hey, like this is something you should interact with. This is something you could check out, blah, 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 blah. Like I'll explain my reasoning and I'll show you stuff along like the way. They're not good early on. You have to have a lot of critical thinking and you have to be able to look at your board and understand what's going on. So now that I mentioned what the problem is, watch this fight, my Violet, when she attacks. And you'll see that she's not healing as much as she could be. When she's literally just like dying to certain units. Now this guy doesn't have Violet 4, so I think I beat him. Especially now that I have QSS, so he can't stun me. But we'll see, watch. Watch when she attacks, right? She just did her ult, right? She didn't heal shit. She did an ult, she did a big chunk of damage, and she didn't heal that much. Right? I don't know what's going on. Or like that time she died before the ult went off, that's why. But like if you watch the earlier interaction, it's fucked. It's fucked for some reason. I didn't know that. Maybe it's because the true damage, like from the gold collector with the true damage of the pit fighters, it executes at a higher threshold, and then like it just heals off like the little bit that she hit instead of like the total amount she's hitting for. I don't know. I don't understand it. Anyways, I leveled to 9. Oh, I'm gonna recognize this at the last possible minute, by the way, because I'm stupid. So I was talking to chat the whole time saying, I don't know what's going on. This Violet unit doesn't look as broken as she normally does. And I don't know what I did wrong. I'm like, did I just mess up an augment? Did I mess up my placement? No, it's because of the gold collector. As soon as I move this gold collector off this Violet, I'm gonna beat every single person in this lobby and it won't even be close. I guarantee you. And I know that because this is a VOD review, so I experienced it already. So you can take my word for it. There's no bets to be made here. But anyways, hopefully up until now, everything I said kind of gives you like some idea of what to play. If you're being frustrated when you see this comp and then you try and you're not successful, you know, hopefully I pointed out some of the mistakes I made along the way. Right now, I'm just trying to hit a Savika. I want to play 6 Pit Fighter as soon as possible. I leveled to 9 a little bit early because of the because I was just worried about my Violet keeps dying, right? So I was worried. I said I need to put in some extra synergy because like this shit is not reasonable. I don't know what's going on. LeBlanc also, she works as like a support. She's like damage amp for your whole board. The way LeBlanc works is the amount of damage that your board does, she does like additional damage based on that. So she like scales up your whole board's damage. So like LeBlanc is a good +1 to put in a lot of these late game boards because all the damage that my Violet is doing, it will transition into a damage amp on this LeBlanc basically. Anyways, I'm just rolling for a Savika. I hit a family emblem on carousel, so now we're 5 family. So if you don't know what 5 family does, this is just for fun. 5 family, if you read it, it says that it gives you, oops, sorry, that's Pit Fighter. Family, if you read 5 family, it says that you have a heist, right? You have more damage reduction and there's a heist. After each combat, you get progress the heist, increase for surviving family members. So there's a little bit of like a cash out. Now, you'll notice that I'll try and point it out really fast for you. I'll try and pause and then play it right when the heist occurs. But basically, at the end of the round, if you have surviving family members, there'll be like a little indicator on them that says, yeah, heist, whatever. Oh, yeah, here. So now I think I figured it out because I paid attention a lot to this fight. And as you can see, I'm 4 HP. It looks like I'm going 5th, right? It definitely looks like I'm going 5th. It looks bad, I know. It's because I'm a dumbass. I didn't know this. Maybe it's like archaic knowledge that everybody knows from playing multiple sets of TFT. I didn't know that this gold collector was such a grief item on this unit. My bad. Like, genuinely, my bad. I did not know. So I'm going to remove gold collector now because I figured it out. Like I already told you, you could notice in a couple of the fights. I removed gold collector from this Vi, and now she's actually going to heal significantly more. I don't know if it's a bug. Like I said, I don't think it's a bug per se, but if it is a bug, just be ready that, like, you know, you saw it here first. So I've been getting railed by everybody. Watch my Violet's HP this time around when I fight these boards. Tell me if she drops as low as she was in the last couple rounds. She is gonna heal so... Look at this. She's not even at half HP yet. And I know that I put redemption on her. I understand that. But it is so much... It's insane how much better it is now. I was so stupid. I am sorry to everybody who was watching me while I was playing this, trying to figure it out. It was like the... Oh, there's the heist. Did you see the little heist on her? You can go back a couple seconds. But there's like a little yellow text that says heist whatever. My bad, okay? I admit my mistakes. I didn't know that's what happened when you put Gold Collector on an Omnivamp unit. I'm used to putting Gold Collector on frontline units. I've never seen that happen before. But maybe it's because of like the scaling with the HP and the amount of burst damage that she does. Maybe it's just like, like I said before, because there's like a huge amount of true damage. Like maybe it's just like, it just like eats it up and stuff like that, so she doesn't heal as much. But now we're smooth sailing. Now it's all good. So I'm just gonna take a Titans, right? I could put Titans instead of this Redemption. And I'm just going to put the items on this Garen. Garen gives extra HP as emissary to the units next to him, so that's why he's next to the Violet. And yeah, I just have 3 items on Violet. QSS is really good. It makes it so you don't get stunned, which helps you really well in a lot of these fights. And I'm just rolling for Savika here. We hit Savika, so now I can play around 6 Pit Fighter. So I just have to swap out one person. This Darius, I don't really care about Conqueror stacks or anything like that. 6 Pit Fighter is way more important. And remember this guy that it was like he very convincingly beat the shit out of me and I did not have a chance against him. Watch now that I don't have Gold Collector, It's crazy. Look at my Violet isn't even at half HP right now. Now she's a little bit lower, but still, like it's not even close anymore. He got steamrolled. It's 1v9. This is why the comp is broken. I'm sorry that it didn't look as broken for like half this video. I definitely trolled. But yeah, my bad. My bad. I don't understand why. Maybe the stats on Gold Collector are just bad on her. But like in like the actual stats, it says it's a good item on her. I didn't know, like I don't get it. Like I didn't know what was going on. That's why you don't look at stats. You have to actually pay attention to your game and see what's actually going on. But anyways, as you can see, what does this board have? I'm just level 9, Violet 3, and everybody else is just trash. No items, no nothing, does not matter. That's why this comp is broken. It's annoying, but if you're trying to rank up, you gotta know how to play it. Because if you ever have a spot where you have a couple Violets and nobody's really hard contesting, there's only like maybe 1 or 2 other people playing it, or sorry, 1 other person playing it, and you have a bunch of Violets, just contest it, get your Violet 4, and win the game. It's easy. This guy's like, I don't know how many academy he is. Like he's like fucking 5 academy, 6 academy. Does not matter. The HP looks bad because I threw away all those rounds before, like I said. So I'll apologize once more for being a dumbass. But it's fine. As long as you figure it out before you die, all is good. All is said and done. But yeah, we're just chilling. So now I'm going to put the Thieves Gloves on the Savika. I put on the Vander originally because I was just trying to make the Vander live to progress the Heist. The Heist basically just gives you cash outs when it hits the thresholds. I don't know if any of them are any good, but it starts dropping you like copies of the units and duplicators and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. But here we're just going to go through this guy now. Just watch the Violet just absolutely rail every single unit on this board. Now this board does lose to high cap units. That's really funny. I think my Savika has a chance to like roll like a 1 out of like I don't know what, like 1 out of 100 chance that she just like yeets a dude off the board, and the Savika literally just did that. So that was a little bit high roll. The fight might have been a little bit closer if Savika didn't yeet that Garen off the board, but it is what it is. GG, I guess. Here I just take Morello for like proper anti-heal because I'm at the point where it's late game. That's pretty much the best thing I can cap out my board with. This board, I've seen it lose to like really strong vertical traits like the Max Cap, Black Rose, Malzahar board. I think has beat it many times in the games that I've played. As you can see, I got my little Heist cash out, so I got an extra couple components. So I'm probably just gonna make a Last Whisper, or no, I could just reforge. Yeah, so I reforge. Put Jewel Gauntlet on Powder because whatever. But yeah, it's all good. This is what the game normally looks like. If it would have looked way more dominating if I didn't have the Gold Collector on the Violet for much of the earlier part of the game. So like, don't look at it like I just narrowly by the skin of my teeth I won this match. Typically once you have Violet 4, you're just smooth sailing to like a first or a second, just based on like who high rolls harder in their late game. Here I have Savika 2, I have Garen 2, so I have a lot of extra units on my board. But yeah, she's just gonna run around and kill everybody. 14k damage on a 1-star unit. It costs 9 gold, right? The total investment I had on this Violet unit was 9 gold. it's kind of nuts. Anyways, you can see the heist progress on her, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I want to make a video on this because it is something that's really relevant right now. I'm gonna do a Chem Baron video tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about Chem Baron in that, and then I'm gonna do some other reroll boards that I've been sitting on the VODs of. So like Camille reroll with ambushers, like Kog'Maw eventually. It's just I haven't had Kog'Maw is very temperamental. I feel like it's very easy to go 8th with that comp if you don't hit. Like a couple of those ones just to like give you guys a little bit of more resources of, hey, these are strong comps to play. But you know, people are figuring stuff out like this, so you know, just be ready for it. And like, you know, don't maybe like, you know, I don't want to spread the negative environment of you guys just like one tricking Violet, because a lot of people are doing that right now and getting a lot of success because like that's a strategy in TFT, is just play the most broken unit on repeat. I would recommend playing it when you have a good spot for it to decrease the variance. Here I hit a lot of Violets early on, and there was only one other person playing the comp, so it seemed like a no-brainer to play around this unit. But yeah, GG, I guess. Just steamrolled through everybody. But yeah, that's just the comp. Hopefully I explained to you guys how to make it. I feel really bad for the guy who went 5th here with the Violet comp. I don't like it when I contest somebody and I feel like it makes it like I didn't mean to, I wasn't trying to grief him. Like, as I explained to you guys, like the comp supports 2 people. He just didn't know to roll for the ultimate hero. He could have spent more gold on that round in particular to get the Violet 4, and he probably would have gotten like, you know, we probably would have held hands and go like first, second in this lobby. But you know, it is what it is. But like I said, it supports 2 people. If you see 3 people playing it, get away from it, right? Don't be one of the 3, because you might be one of the 3 that doesn't hit. It supports 2 people pretty consistently, and it's mostly because of the interaction to upgrade the Violet to 4-star. That's like the key part later that gives you a lot of placement. As you can see, that other guy, he played the same comp, Violet's broken, blah 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 blah. He didn't get the 4-star upgrade. He went 5th, I went 1st, right? That's how that should normally, like, you should gotta be ready for that. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and see ya.